Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan, and welcome to part two of what do we call it? Bar Z Bay. I made that up myself. Today we're going to pick up a few lots that we missed last week that we already had cataloged, so that'll be an easy shoot. We're going to catalog more stuff, and a lot of metrology stuff, a lot of measuring stuff, we got some little surface plates. We got a nice comparator stand. Got a lot of really nice tools to show you here today. I want to remind you that all emails go to the HERONIMEFAMILY at gmail.com. There's going to be a link below, and with all the rules of the auction. And I wanted to remind you that we've still got some really nice units that haven't been bid on yet. So you know that hard-hinge over there is still up for grabs. It's an HVLH, and I showed it last week. Beautiful machine. Anyways, let's get to it. We're going to go shoot those missing lots, do some more cataloging, and get into some of the tools and metrology equipment. Enjoy. Okay, next up is lot number 11. It's got a reserve of $75. This is a Palmgren 2x6 disc sander. It gives us a 1/3 horsepower, 3590 RPM. It runs good. So that gives you a 2-inch belt, and it gives you, I believe, a 6-inch disc. Nice little benchtop unit. So reserve of $75, and throw your bid in. That's lot number 11. Next up is lot number 12. It has a $30 reserve. This is a Harbor Freight 1x5 belt sander. We didn't see a horsepower rating. It runs good, but it's a nice little 1-inch belt, and it's got a nice little disc over here on the side. So when we say 1x5, that's 1-inch belt here, 5-inch disc here. No horsepower rating. Runs good. So good price on a nice little unit. Again, if you purchase these, they can be picked up at the bash. Anything small like this that can be hauled over there easily, we'll be happy to take it over to the bash for you. Okay, next up it's lot number 13. We're just calling this a grinder trio. So this is a trifecta of a sparks throwing extravaganza. It's got a reserve of $300, and there's some things that make it unique. It's pretty neat what Rick did. A lot of this is shop built. There's a vintage Craftsman grinder. He's got an aluminum oxide wheel and a wire wheel on this one. This is a half horse vintage Craftsman. Actually runs really good. And then we got work lights all over the place, so you can stick work lights anywhere you want on this thing. And what else he's got under here? I'm gonna wait till that thing spools down before I start spinning it around. But he's got kind of a turntable indexing kind of setup here. It's gonna be really hard to see under there. But I'm gonna pull this pin and give it a spin here. And this is going to get this whole thing spun around and indexed into place here. And then what we've got up here is a 1/3 horse grinder. And then your work light comes right over the top. It's got a Scotch-Brite wheel and a Scotch-Brite wheel for deburring here. And then he's got another grinder. This is a Harbor Freight 8-inch bench grinder. And he's got it set up for polishing. So he's got looks like he's got a cotton wheel over here and a soft fuzzy Scotch-Brite wheel over here, and that runs good too. So you just and you can work top, bottom, or spin around and grind and deburr on the other side. So you get the whole trio. I forgot what I said the lot number was. Let's see what that is. 13. Yep, that's lot number 13. We've got a reserve of $300 for the whole package, and we're calling that a grinder trio. Okay, next up is something near and dear to my heart. It's a Hotshot 360 by none other than Bar Z Industrial. It's a 120 volt oven. It's 2,000 watts. It's serial number 20-01165. So that is That was made in 2020, and it's the 1165th oven that I built that year. It's in really good shape, all stainless steel construction. It has an argon kit on it. You can see the flow meter above the control panel. And it comes with a we found a little jug of cherry red. It'll come with a little jug of cherry red. And the interior of the oven is in good shape. There's some furniture in there. And that is the argon hose and everything that goes with it. So that is a 2000 degree shop oven. And lot number 14. We're going to put a reserve of $600 on it. And like I say, it's serial number 22. I'm sorry. 22-01165. Put your bid in. Okay, next up is lot number 15. It's got a $40 reserve. It's an unknown brand of arbor press. It's rated at half a ton, but it's been modified, and this is a bolt-on modification for bending sheet metal. It's kind of a press brake die for doing some thin sheet metal, so you could do some thin sheet metal, but it doesn't have to stay there. All this unbolts, the lower die and the upper die simply unbolts from the machine, and you've got a perfectly functioning arbor press. But it's a nice little benchtop model. Lot 15, $40 reserve. Okay, lot number 16, we have a $50 reserve. This is another unknown name brand. I don't see a name brand on it. This is a 1-ton arbor press. It's got a lower platen already there. Like I say, 1 ton, operates smoothly, no broken castings, bench mount, very nice. Okay, next up is a lot number 17, $60. It's a 5C Spindex. It's a nice little unit, 1 degree increments over 360 degrees. So you get 360 individual indexing holes via the vernier here in the back. This one is probably like a phase 2 Asian made, but nice little Spindex. It's a staple of the shop. So that was 17, here's 18. Next up, lot number 18, same thing, $60 reserve, 5C Spindex, in nice shape. It's got some metal shavings on it, but that's to be expected. Same vernier pattern in the back. This one is made by the Finn Company in Canoga Park, California. Spindex. Again, 5C collets, always handy. That was 18. Let's go to 19. Here's a little cutie pie, and this thing, this is a lot number 19. It's only got a $25 reserve, but it's a 3-inch rotary table, and my sign is covering the entire tool. You can't even see what's going on there. Bing, there it is. But it can be mounted horizontally and vertically, and it's just a tiny little rotary table for doing the smallest of work. But what a little cutie. Anyways, put in your bid. 25 bucks or better will get it to you. Roll. Okay, next up is lot number 20. We've got a $400 reserve. This is the one machine that Harbor Freight sells that is a brake. So you got a brake which has segmented dies, so you can use it as a box and pan brake. It's got a slip roller on top, and it's got a shear on the bottom. So they call it a 3-in-1. But we checked the prices over at Harbor Freight, and we beat them pretty good. This thing's in pretty much perfect shape. And Rick dabbled a little bit in sheet metal, so he kind of dug having this around. 30-inch capacity on your width, and I believe it's a 20 gauge capacity on your thickness of your sheet metal. So slip roller, segmented brake, and shear combo. Okay, we got another few lots ready for you. First we're going to start with some drop indicators. Go ahead and zoom in over here. We've got a few really nice units. That's a vintage Mitsutsuyo. It's either been rebuilt or never been used. It's still in the bag with the wax paper around it. So that's kind of a nice piece in the original Mitsutsuyo case. Got a beautiful sterret here. Got a couple of smaller sterrets. There's a vintage Federal over there. Nice Mitsutsuyo here. We have a Fowler depth kit. I think that will take you all the way to 6 inches in depth. This is lot number 43. Call them drop indicators. 15 total. $300, and it says with tips. No, we're not asking for tips. I'm going to show you what tip we're doing. That's the Starrett tip. It's a number. It looks like a 29 or 25A or 298 maybe. I don't know. I can't read it. It's tiny. Anyways, that's a tip for drop indicators. Nice little miniature Federal gauge. That's a little cutie pie right there. And a nice little sheer Tomiko miniature. So this whole lot of drop indicators, $300 is our reserve price on it. All right. Lot number 44, we separated the test indicators from the drop indicators. So we've got some, we've got a couple that are really nice. This is a Starrett Last Word, and that is either new old stock or been rebuilt. It's got color case hardened case on it. The color case hardening, just a beautiful piece for all you Starrett fans out there. This one's got signs of use, but still in very good shape. The crystal's very clean and clear. This one still works, but it's got signs of being used. I mean, that's what they're there for, to be used. We got a couple of Mitsutsuyo's here. We've got a nice little interrapid tenths indicator. If you've ever bought one of those, you'll know. That's an interesting piece in that case. That is in a vintage Brown and Sharp box. So that's an interesting piece. There's a no name, and we're giving you an entire box of snugs and adapters and things for test indicators. 9 total test indicators, lot number 44, $250. Next up, lot number 45. You still rolling?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We've got lot number 45. This is 4 dial calipers and 1 digital. The digital is a general, he's kind of a no-name. We've got a Mitsutsuyo over here. These have modified jaws. We've got a pretty nice Starrett. I believe that's metric. Didn't you say that was metric?
Metric.
Yeah, that's an interesting piece.
Beautiful case.
Yeah, it's in the nice Starrett case. We've got a 12-inch dial here, Starrett, in the original Starrett box. Nice box. And then we've got another LS Starrett over here, just a 6-inch dial in an original Starrett box. This one's plastic. It's not the nice clamshell I showed you there. Anyways, $175 for this lot. Put your bid in. That's lot number 45. Next up is lot number 46. Now, this is, we've split it right down here. So this lot of micrometers is in one lot, and this lot of micrometers is in another lot. This is 13 total micrometers with a stand. And let me go through them with you. We've got a Starrett digital. We've got a mic stand here. What was that? Was that a Starrett?
Yes, Starrett.
Okay, so we had, and that's on a Starrett
1 to
mic,
2.
1 to 2. Here's a Starrett. Is that a 1 to 2?
Yep.
Yep. There's a 1 to 2, and that's the actually they call that a digital. It's got the counter on it. And then here's a really nice Mitsutsuyo. Here's another nice Mitsutsuyo. That's tenths indicating there. I think they call this a barrel mic. Not really sure. That
Inside.
it's got curved jaws, so it'll read insides. There's a half of a depth mic. I do not believe that's been cut. That's the way they sell them.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Okay. There's an anvil mic. You could use that for checking blind interior holes. You could slip that through a hole in something and check a wall thickness. We've got a 0 to 1 and a 1 to 2 Starrett. We've got a little
Round and sharp.
That's a little brown and sharp, 0.5. That's kind of cute. Here's a kit. Let me pull this out. That's a Shars kit. They kind of call it a universal kit for measuring threads. So this is for measure. It's got the V-shaped ambles and the pointer-shaped ambles on it, and that's going to and with a chart. Use that chart to measure threads. And last up, we've got a no-name digital micrometer, 0 to 1, condition unknown. We believe the battery's dead on it. So that is, this whole set that I just described to you is lot number 46. That's 13 micrometers in total, 1 stand, and 1 thread mic. And that's the one that includes the Starrett digital. All right, so that's one setup. Now let's get over to lot number 47, and we're asking, this is the Mitutoyo digital quantum mic and an indicating anvil mic. Let's go through some of this. First of all, in the back we've got a little anvil type mic. It's got a carbide anvil. Doesn't look like it's ever been used. It's a beautiful little piece. Next up is a 0 to 1 quantum mic. It's another very nice piece there. And then the old classic, we got a Starrett. Is this tenths indicating or no?
Don't remember.
It is not. But still, just a nice little micrometer. Always feels good in the hand. And it's in the classic clamshell.
Nice box.
Yeah, those are the good boxes. Next up is another Starrett, 0 to 1. This one is tenths indicating. It's got a veneer that runs around the barrel. And it's in good shape. The paint's in good shape. It's not beat to hell, and no one's used it as a wood clamp. These two, this is a 2 to 3 and a 3 to 4. A pair of the classic micrometers. Ellis Starrett. This is an indicating mic. Carbide anvils. And it's got your release right there to release your parts. So, very nice piece. If you've got a specific tolerance, use that dial to set your upper and lower limits of what you're gauging, and you use that mic to check your parts in a production run. Here's another anvil type mic. And then here we got a 3 to 4 Fowler with a standard in a case. And then this is a brown sharp, tenths indicating. It's got a vernier scale up on top, and that's the slant line. And everything I just described to you right here, that is a total of 10 mics, $325, lot number 47. Next up, this is kind of gauging, and we've got feeler gauges, radius gauges, thread gauges, hole gauges, just about every type of gauging you can think of. And what we're doing here, these are all, over here is Mitutoyo. These are all radius gauges. We go to some very large radius gauges here. We'll close some of these up. We go to some very tiny radius gauges here. These are all Mitutoyo. Even tinier, more Mitutoyo. This is a Mitutoyo ball gauge set. They call that a small hole gauge. If you've never used the ball gauges, it gives you a really nice feel down in the hole. Gives you a good idea what size you're shooting for. After that, we've got telescoping gauges. These are...
Lufkin?
Is this Lufkin? Yes, that's a Lufkin. There's a set of Lufkin telescoping gauges, pretty small. And then this one, what was this one? This is Ellis Starrett. So that's it. The larger ones are Starrett, the smaller ones are Lufkin.
Got a couple of extra.
Yeah, there's a few extras. We just stuck them in the packs. Here's another set of radius gauges, same as what you saw with the Mitutoyo, but there's just a full set of gauges there. Starrett taper hole gauges. You just drop those down in a hole to get you in the ballpark, and they read in 10,000 increments. Okay, so that's a nice set of taper gauges. Some ridiculously long feeler gauges. I can check your valve lash from my house. A little bit longer ones. in a pretty unique case. More radius gauges in a pack. And then the rest of them are feeler gauges and thread gauges. We've got metric threading gauges, we got some Starrett threading gauges, just regular feeler blades, just a pretty nice kit. Now this is lot number 48, and we're just calling this an indicator, or just a gauging kit. $120 is our starting price on that. All right. Next up, lot number 49, planer gauge and adjustable parallels. Now, most of these are Starretts. Most of the adjustable parallels are Starretts. All these here are. This kit right here is Lufkin, but all these others are LS Starrett. So you've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've got a total of 11 parallels. And a pretty nice Starrett color case hardened planer gauge with all the attachments. It's got all the both rods on it, and it's complete in all respects. All right. And what we're asking for that kit, the thing about adjustable parallels is when you need them, you need them. $125 is the starting price. Lot number 49, planer gauge and adjustable parallels. We're coming over here to lot number 50. These are angle gauge sets, Rose Index, and bar Z squares, of all things. Now here's a full bar Z starter set. I'll tell you right now, the retail on that's about 480 bucks, but that's the little mahogany box I used to make. Here's another set that Rick bought for me. They were grind it yourself kit back when I used to do those. So I used to machine them and harden them and sell a raw kit for people that wanted to do their own grinding and test their skills. And here's something I just showed on the channel. These are Rose Indexes. And Rick actually bought these at Summer Bash last year. These are limited edition. They got the Bar Z Summer Bash logo on the side of them from last year's event. So literally you can't get your hands on these. You heard it here, folks. Anyways, he's got both sizes. He's got the little baby one, and I don't know how he got that logo on there, but you're gonna need a microscope to read that logo. It's pretty small. Anyways, it's the Jack Daniels logo from last year's bash. So we got both sizes of Rose Index. We've got a very nice Starrett adjustable protractor in the case, in this original Starrett case.
2 legs, short and long legs.
Yeah, it's got the short and long legs. The short leg's already in the unit. It usually sits right here. And it's got the other little baby one there. And then, I don't know why he had them, but he had 2 sets of angle blocks, and they're identical in all respects. 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4, 8, 6, 10, 12. I guess if you start stacking them together, you can make literally any angle you want, but he's got 2 sets of angle blocks. So we just called this an angle kit. And altogether, $275, lot number 50. Gets you all the angular stuff. So we're gonna put all that we just shot away, get it in a box, or get all this stuff in a box, get some more clear space, and bring some more stuff out, and we'll bring you right back. Okay, we're back. We got some more stuff fanned out for you here. We actually found a couple geometric heads, and that should excite some of you. We've got a very small one, which is a little cutie here. And this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of dies. Now the limit on this one is 5/16, so it's a very small 5/16 size geohead. Straight shank. I use them in a boring bar holder on the lathe, so anyone that knows how a geometric head works, after you've used one, you'll never go back. And the assortment of dies are anywhere between, I got some 1032, I got some quarter 20, quarter 28, shouldered, non-shouldered. So it's a nice little set for some small threading. The limit on that is 5/16. Now, I've got a big old wonker here. That's a 1 inch. And there's already a set of dies in that one. Again, straight shank. Looks to be maybe a 5/8 shank or better. And I've only got 2 sets of dies for that. These are 3/8-24, and what are these? 3/8-24. That's handy. Anyways, you got a couple sets of dies to start with. I'm not sure what's in it. Those look to be National Course. I'd actually have to pull those dies out to find out what's in it, but it's got another set of dies in there, and they do look coarse. So this is lot number 51. You get both geometric heads and all the dies that we could find. $300 is your starting price. After you've used the geometric head, you'll never go back. All right. Next up, for all you Starrett aficionados, we've got a pretty nice kit here. This is lot number 52. This is tap handles, tap followers, extended tap drivers, regular tap drivers, and tap handles. And we've got a couple of Starrett tap handles. These are the kind of one-piece, real sexy ones that Starrett made for many years. There's another little cutie pie right there, right in the, still in the Starrett box. We've got all these Starrett boxes opened up for you. We've got the little tap drivers. And these, after you mount your tap in there, you've got a center hole in the back, so you can actually run your tap follower in the back to run your tap in, right on your milling machine. So every one of these has got the center hole in the back. Every one of these has a handle in the box. We've got some seriously long ones for you guys working on big gears and big pulleys and stuff like that, where you have to get down right next to there and drive a tap in. We've got some extended ones there. We've got the smaller version here. These are all LS Starrett. The only one tool in here, this is a Greenfield tap and die, long one, big shank. So that's your big wonker there. And then we've got a tap follower here, which is a spring-loaded tap follower. I believe that was made by Pierre and Phil up in Canada. And this is lot number 52. Our starting price on this is $225, but that's a beautiful bit of kit there. If you want to get set up for driving taps, that's everything you need. Let's move on. Next up is lot number 53. It's got a $300 reserve. These are ER25 collet sets. Now that, or a ER25 collet set. This goes from quarter all the way up to 1 inch. And then we've got an R8 ER25 adapter. No name brand on it, but it's nicely made. And then it's got the hook spanner that goes with it to change the collets. So this pretty much is all R8 stuff. So ER32 by R8.
25.
ER25, sorry, ER25 by R8 on that. We've got a tap holder, looks to be 1/2 inch. And that's going to mount your Weldon type end mills in there. It's R8. We've got a triangular face mill, which should be 3 inch. We've got a square face mill, looks to be 2 inch. And then we've got an insert mill. This is a side cutter. That won't plunge, but it'll side cut.
Roughing mill?
Yeah, that's pretty rough looking to me. I wouldn't want to have to pay for all that carbide, but you get a bunch of carbide that you can flip around, and it's an Ingersoll brand head with an R8 adapter. So this is all R8 tooling. We're asking $300. Lot number 53, R8 mill tooling. Next up, got some surface gauges. Bunch of them. You know, we've got a little vintage Starrett that Rick's actually added a little base to it to turn it into a squareness comparator. And he didn't modify the Starrett at all. All he did was take the 2 existing pins, he slid it in, and he poked the pins through. That's what locks it in. So that Starrett has not been modified. It's just got kind of a sled on it. He's got some attachments that he made for doing all kinds of crazy stuff here with a surface gauge. We've got a carbide tip pointer that goes on the Micrometers. We've got a home-built sled here. Doesn't look like you finished it. We've got a vintage Starrett veneer gauge. That's OS Starrett there. Tiny little thing. We've got a Micrometers dial type. We've got a very extended pointer, and that will actually fit in that Micrometers. If you need to, I don't know, reach out and touch someone from the next zip code, you could do it. We've got a no-name brand height gauge. We actually found this over on the hard edge. I suspect he was using that to check his center height on his tools. We've got no idea what this is. This is a diamond coated wire on a bow mounted to a Starrett surface gauge. Your guess is as good as mine, but the surface gauge is unmolested and in nice shape. And you get a free bow and a little piece of diamond coated wire with it. In addition to that, there's two other surface gauges back here. These are considered squareness comparators. You see they got a little roller out front here, and they've got a fine adjust up top, and you can do squareness comparisons with them, and you've got two of them. And we found the box for one of them. It's called a Square All Squareness Checker, product made in USA. So we got two of those. That's the whole lot. This is all surface gauges. Lot number 54. We're only starting this off at $150. You get a total of 8 gauges and some miscellaneous sundries that go with them. Let's move on. You're still rolling, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, lot number 55. Noga, everybody loves them. Here's a Noga fine adjust bottom. We got a fine adjust down here. No fine adjust up top. But that's a genuine Noga mag base. Next,
Heavy. That's the heavy one.
yeah, that's the bigger one. Here's the next one. It's the Noga fine adjust top. We got the fine adjust up here, and no fine adjust at the bottom. So we got one fine adjust bottom, one fine adjust top.
And that base is as big as the heavy one. It's just that the arm is not quite as heavy.
Yeah.
Rigid.
Yeah. Here's a little mini Noga, fine adjust bottom. But all of these, the head will take a 3/8 stem from a drop indicator or a 5mm dovetail for your test indicators. So either one will go in any of these heads on a Noga. So another genuine Noga, little mini. Those are always handy to get in some tight spots. Here's a little Noga knockoff. Same articulating arms, got a fine adjust top, switchable mag at the bottom. And then this one is a US made. It's an old flex bar, if you remember those. This lever here runs this slinky that puts that indicator wherever you want it, and then it's got a fine adjust bottom down here. And up top, I believe it'll take, yeah, that'll only take a drop indicator. So that'll take a regular full-size type indicator. It will not accept a smaller test indicator. Anyways, we got a total of 5 indicator holders. $125 is our opening price. This is lot number 55. 3 Noga, 2 other. Let's go to the next box. Next up is this is a case that Rick made to hold some of his punches, and now we've got Starrett center punches. There's a full Starrett kit right there. We've got some Starrett long pin punches. These are all genuine Starrett. We've got Starrett short pin punches here, and we've got some short Mayhew pin punches here, and we've also got some looks like some import hole punches for like leather or heavy paper or something like that, for punching gaskets and things like that. So pretty nice kit. We're asking $70. This is lot number 56. We're just calling it center punches, pin punches, and hole punches. For $70 as a starting price. There's a lot of Starrett in there, and it's in a Micrometer box, but you get the box too. Next up, we've got some couple mag plates, and you know, these still have a little bit of service life left in them. This is lot number 57. Our starting price is $125. We've got two 6x6 mags. We and these are on signs. There's a sign plate at the bottom of each one of these. This one here is a professionally made sign. You see it's got the groove for running the short gauge stacks. If you've got a short gauge stack, you got to get in there. This is a known depth, so you can deduct that from your gauge stack. Let's say if you needed a 5 thousandths lift, and that, you know, that's a 100 thousandths dip, you'd put a 105 block in there, and you lifted your plate 5 thousandths. So that's what that dip's for, is for gauge blocks that don't go down below 100 thousandths, which is quite often a problem. So this is a professionally made sign. The mag was probably a really nice mag at one time, but it's been carved on and carved up and chewed up. But I don't think there's any service left in the actual mag. Sign plate's nice. In the back is a shop built. This is a fine pole mag. The mag is fine. It's an import, and it's got a homemade sign set up on the bottom. I cannot attest to its accuracy or its hardness. Whether it's been hardened and ground and brought in properly, I do not know. No idea where he got it. Next thing is, we get all this junk off of here. We got the chuck keys for all of them to turn the magnets off and on. Got some spare fences, just a few fences that were shop made for the mag plate. This is a 6x12 fine pole. It's got hold down grooves on the ends, flat bottom. It's got kind of a crummy fence. It's just an aluminum fence that needs to go away. You need to make a proper fence, but it's a serviceable mag. 6x12 fine pole, good for thin parts. Here's what we're doing with the whole thing. Lot number 57, $125. Two 6x6 sign magnets, one 6x12, no sign. So for 125 bucks, you get all three. Not a bad deal. You know, you could mix and match them. Maybe you could pull this mag off of here and put it on this sign plate. Just whatever, you know, if you want to play around the shop with some magnetism. All right, what's next? Jeez. All right, next up we got lot number 58, and sorry, didn't mean to bump you there, bud. $50. This is parallels, V blocks, and setup blocks. This is kind of a basic mill kit. This is what you need to keep on the table next to your milling machine all the time. These parallels are 1/4 inch thick, and they come in a variety of sizes. They're just gauging. And you know what? They're also only 50 bucks. There's some shorties in here. This is the nicest part of them. These are, I think these are Brown and Sharps. That's genuine Brown and Sharp V-blocks there. And we've got the actual clamps for the V-blocks. Those are the originals there. I believe this one is shop made. That one doesn't look pro made. But these are the correct clamps for these V-blocks. And then we've got some 1, 2, 3 blocks that actually somebody made. And of all things, watch this. Threaded hole here. And then we're going to go like this. Counterboard hole there. I'm looking straight down the barrel of a clearance tool all the way to a threaded hole. I couldn't bolt those two together and do that. Amazing. These were made by someone, Mr. Gilbert. Anyways, you got 3 of those setup blocks, and then 2 of these setup blocks. These are shop made. It says WIS pattern, so I'm guessing that's Wisconsin pattern. So you get both of those. It's the same one, Wisconsin Pattern Works. So pretty cool. These are all shop built blocks, but nothing wrong with them, you know. They're hard. They're ready to go to work. So that whole milling setup kit, lot number 58, 50 bucks. We're going to repeat that process with lot number 59. We've got a few other interesting things to look at. This time we've got LS Starrett. And these are the, I guess you call that a hermaphrodite type block. You can stand it up, you can lay it down. You have to put the clamp on it. You can still clamp it in a vise. The other trick with these is they got threaded holes on the bottom. What you do is you bolt a keyway on there. Put a keyway on there, a 5/8 keyway. You put 2 of them in the keyways on your milling machine in an alignment, and you can drop shafts in there all day long, and your shaft is always going to index in those V-blocks over and over and over again, so you can do shaft work elevated for cutting keyways, whatever. And that's the trick for those, is having those threaded holes on the bottom. One of my favorite tricks. Anyways, we only have one clamp. Sorry, but this is the proper clamp that came with it. We've got some Starrett number 58 hold downs. A pair of hold downs there. Look those up, those are interesting. We've got some very thin parallels. We've got some very nice hardened I-beams here. We've got one large hardened I-beam there. And these are all shop made. There's another set of shop made parallels here. This was made by someone with the initials of SRE in 1974. Still working to this day. There's another little pair of parallels made by our friend Mr. SRE. We're not really sure who he is, but he sure did a nice job. These are another pair of these blocks by Mr. SRE. These are some step blocks, or just stack blocks, just setup blocks, made by SRE. And then a pair of commercially available 1, 2, 3 blocks that everybody knows. And then in addition to that, we're doing another set of parallels, and these go all the way up pretty thick, way down to the little skinny minis there in the back. So you get a set of parallels, V blocks, setup blocks, nice kit. Lot number 59, $50. Okay, number 60. Pretty cool when you see this old stuff. I couldn't find a date on this, but lot number 60, this is an 11 to 12 Mitsutsuyo mic. I want you to look at that standard. Still got the Cosmoline or the wax or whatever is on it. That's never even been used. It's got the wrench. It's got the paperwork. And you know, if you had to guess by the age of this styrofoam and stuff, I'm guessing maybe 70s or 80s. I don't know.
And it doesn't look like it's been used.
No, it's beautiful. They engraved the company name in there. This was owned by a company. They engraved their company name in there, but it didn't look like they ever took it off the shelf. Anyways, highly specialized. We put it by itself because if we start putting this with the other regular mics, it just drives the price up. People that buy an 11 to 12 inch mic they're capable of spinning big work, and they need an 11 to 12. Anyways, lot number 60, $125, 11 to 12 inch Mitsutsuyo mic in the original case. Okay, and I'll tell you, if that's not big enough for you, we got a 13 to 14 with a standard. Someone's peeled the wax off of the standard, but it's in marvelous shape. The ends are polished nicely. The instructions are still stapled in. You got a little tiny staple right there with the only hole. That thing has never come out of there. Still got the original wrench in its holder in the original case. 13 to 14. I'm not seeing any engraving on this one. 13 to 14 inch Mitsutsuyo micrometer with a standard. Lot number 61. Same thing, $125. But that's a nice bit of kit, and it's in the original case. Do you see any engraving there?
No.
I don't either.
Nice.
It is nice. But, you know, if you need it, you need it. All right, and we're back. We got some more stuff out. We've got a Noga set, which is actually pretty nice. It's all been heavily used. Got Rick's greasy paw prints all over it. We got inside deburring, outside deburring, keyway deburring, countersink. They're all the telescopic type. This will do keyways. If you've never used one of those are wonderful if you look at that profile. It does keyway slots. That does outside corners. You got a little Noga holder, and then 3 of the inside deburring. You press the button, put it in the hole, and go sideways and pull that back from the back side, and that'll deburr a blind hole that you can't get to. Plain old router burr, tri-knife, and that's actually a plastic scraper. That's a good little scraper, and I telescoped all the handles out just to show you what you're getting, but pretty nice set. 11 items, Noga deburring kit, lot number 62, 20 bucks to start. Give us your best price. Next up, lot number 63. These are Imperial over under reamers. So you got a 1/2 inch slip fit and a 1/2 inch press fit, and then a 7/16 slip fit and a 7/16 press fit, all the way down in all the nominal Imperial sizes. So all the way down to 1/8 inch. And then next up over here, and this is part of the same package, this is metric counter bores. These are not countersinks, they're counter bores. These are for doing socket head cap screws, and they're self-piloting. So these are all do counter bores in metrics. Lot number 63, $30. And we're throwing in an adjustable reamer, so you can hate them as much as I can. Next up, this is a big lot, and this is actually really cool. This is lot number 64. We're asking a whopping $250 for it, but if you take a look around what you got, this is kind of more mill setups. We already did a couple small milling kits with parallels and stuff like that, but you got the Edge technology, vice tramming kit, the double indicator. You got the, it's not an Indicall, I forget what they call these. This is the Shars brand. This is the,
I can't remember.
it's a coaxial center finder. Pretty nice. Our friend Chuck Bomarito, he's got what he calls screwy balls. These are just hardened steel balls with a flat ground in them, and they're good for clamping up odd shaped parts in your milling machine. So you get a set of those. We got a bunch of machinist clamps. Most of them are LS Starrett. All the black ones you see are LS Starrett. This other brand,
There's no brand.
no, I saw a brand on them. Here it is. They're called Long Industries from Monrovia, California. So it's another style. So there's two different kinds, a bunch of them. Little tiny baby ones too. I mean, that's a tiny little Starrett there.
There's your wife's earring.
Yeah, you should wear that for Christmas. There's a genuine Starrett jack kit with the spacer blocks and the V notches and the points and all the stuff. There's 2 jacks in there and 2 risers, everything else, but that's a genuine Starrett kit for that. A couple of Armstrong jacks. These are super heavy duty and they're lockable. After you've got your elevation there, you lock this nut and lock that dude in. These are a couple of shop made jacks that Rick made, kind of nice. Solid steel, nice base. We've got a couple of blocks that you can use for setup. Here's a big, this is a fabricated welded unit. It's been surface ground and squared. Here's another cast iron block, webbed and slotted. You can use that on the mill for all kinds of stuff, for setups. Angle blocks are always handy. We got a Kurt vise stop. This bolts directly to the backside of a Kurt vise, and it'll give you a bump stop in there. Here is an Indicall, genuine Indicall, and that'll clamp around your spindle with a tool still in it. And then you can mount a test gauge there or a drop type indicator. And here's a Noga arm. That's supposed to poke up into a collet, so you can do a sweep on a part. You could hybrid it if you wanted to. You could put the Noga arm into the Indicall clamp and make a hybrid, and that's what I do, and I really like it. There's a center finder for rounds only. 3/8 stem, put that on a 3/8 collet, and you get on a round and find center. Pretty dead simple. Starrett Wiggler. Nice little bit of kit. Chair type center finder. That block and that round are monolithic, so that will find the center of a part very easily. You could use that on a rotary table. You could use that almost on anything to find center of it. If you chuck that in a 3-jaw chuck, it's real easy to find center of your 3-jaw chuck. Here's a big snap type gauge for getting down into some kind of weird spot. That'll get you there though. And here's a Starrett 827. That's another snap type indicator. A jumper. Alright, so you get that. You get a couple of, what were these? Oh, monster jaws. These have already, this has already been milled a little bit. You can see one's taller than the other, but these will bolt right into a Kurt. And you can cut them, groove them. They're just consumable jaws. They're not aluminum. These are steel jaws, but they are machinable. Over here we got some step blocks. 4 step blocks. These are handy for when you're using your hold down kits. You don't feel like using the little zigzag blocks in the back. And we've got a full hold down kit. So this is a full set for your mill. Pretty nice for doing setup. We're asking $250 starting price. This is lot number 64. You still rolling?
Yeah.
Okay, next up is lot number 65. We got a bunch of taps and dies. I've got a whole kind of a Tupperware thing here full of, these are all Imperial taps, a lot of new old stock. A lot of these taps are, that one says 832. 2, 3, there's 5 in there. I mean, all these bags, there's a Hanson bag that says what, it's an 832, quantity 5, never even been opened. So a lot of new old stock, and we're going up to some decent sizes. There's some 3/4 in there. There's some other bins in there. I'm not gonna fish through all of this. 1/4 24 protos, interesting. Okay, so you got that. All these metrics right here. These are all metric taps. Some new old stock. Some have been bought and left in cases there. What is that? That's an M3 by 0.5. Okay. Here's a bunch of left-handed dies. Be careful with those. Don't let those get out in the shop and start threading your stuff wrong. It's been known to happen. Watch out with left-handed taps too. But we got some left-handed dies. Those are all Imperial. Right-handed dies are here. I couldn't find any more. I was kind of surprised. I thought there would be more of those. There's some die holders here. Looks like they're shop made, but those will chuck up in the tailstock of your lathe. So that's 2 different size dies. There and there. All right. And then you get this big kit right here, which I don't know whether this is a name brand kit or what it is. It's called a Grant. Tap and die. National Course and National Fine. Taps, dies, it's missing 1 die right there. And somebody had it at some point for $100, but whatever. But that's a pretty nice kit. Anyways, lot number 65. Everything you see here, all the taps and dies, $225. And put your bid in. Alright guys, I appreciate you watching. I know this has probably ran kind of long. You know, the last bar Z-Bay we did was a little over half an hour. This one's probably going to be a little bit longer. We haven't quite got through everything. We've still got, that's pretty much all the tools we're going to sell. We've got drill bits, milling cutters, lathe tooling, and a couple more vices to go. And I think we're going to be done. None of these toolboxes you've seen today are for sale. We do have some granite we have to sell. We've got we got this plate right here for sale. We got a nice comparator stand. It's a Standridge, oh thanks Dennis. It's a Standridge stand. That's exactly like the one you see me using in my shop every day. These are really nice comparator stands. So I still got to do that, and we still got to do this one here. This is actually my old plate. I traded in this. This is one of the first plates I bought with some ledges. Anyways, we still got to do a few other things. We need to get some of this stuff out of here. You guys send in your bids, send in your best price for all this stuff. You can pick it up at the bash. You'll be able to pick it up before the bash, but you got to the end of June to get it out of here. We've got some nice bids on the Bridgeport. We had a pretty good bid on the Powermatic. So, you know, there's activity here. I appreciate your support, and thanks for watching, everybody.